My name is Emily. I'm 33 years old. And 7 months ago, I woke up in a hospital bed, one kidney lighter, believing I had saved my sister's life. I was wrong. The scar on my side is still pink and tender. Sometimes, when I press against it, I can feel the phantom ache of what I gave away. Not just the organ. The trust. The love. The belief that family meant something. It started 18 months ago with a phone call. My sister Rachel, 2 years older, always dramatic, perpetually in some kind of crisis, called me at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Her voice was shaking. "Ing, I need you." I was in bed, halfway through a documentary about deep-sea creatures, my cat Pebbles curled against my legs. I muted the TV. "What's wrong?" "I'm sick." Her voice cracked. "Really sick." My heart dropped. "What do you mean sick?" "Kidney failure. Stage 4. The doctors say I need a transplant or—" She couldn't finish. Just sobbed on the other end. I sat up, my mind racing. "When did you find out?" 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to tell anyone. I thought maybe it was a mistake, but they ran more tests and, "Emily, I'm scared." Rachel had always been the strong one. The one who moved to New York at 19 with $200 and a dream. The one who climbed corporate ladders and dated men who drove sports cars. Hearing her broken like that, it shattered something in me. "I'll get tested," I said immediately. "Tomorrow. I'll see if I'm a match." You don't have to." "You're my sister." "Of course I do." The next morning, I drove to the hospital she'd told me about. St. Mercy Medical Center downtown. I met with a transplant coordinator, a woman named Dr. Patel, who explained the process. Blood tests. Tissue typing. Compatibility screenings. "It's a significant decision," she said, her dark eyes serious. "Donating a kidney is major surgery. There are risks. Recovery takes months. You need to be absolutely sure." I was sure. Rachel was my sister. My only sibling. We'd grown up sharing a bedroom, fighting over clothes, covering for each other when we snuck out in high school. She'd been there when our mom died 5 years ago, holding my hand through the funeral, through the grief that followed. "I'm sure," I said. Tests took 3 weeks. I went through blood draws, imaging scans, psychological evaluations. They wanted to make sure I was healthy enough, mentally stable enough, fully informed about what I was doing. Rachel came to one of my appointments. She looked thinner than I remembered, her face pale, dark circles under her eyes. She hugged me in the waiting room, and I could feel her ribs through her shirt. "Thank you," she whispered. "You're saving my life." When the results came back, Dr. Patel called me personally. "You're a match. A very good one, actually. We can schedule the surgery for next month if you're ready." I was ready. I told my boss I'd need 8 weeks off for medical leave. I told my boyfriend Daniel we'd been together for 2 years, living together for 6 months. He was supportive but worried. "Are you sure about this?" he asked one night as we sat on our couch, his arm around me. "It's a huge sacrifice." "She's my sister," I said. "What else would I do?" He kissed the top of my head. "You have the biggest heart of anyone I know." The surgery was scheduled for a Thursday in March. Rachel and I were admitted the night before. We were in rooms next to each other. I remember walking over to see her, my hospital gown flapping, my 4-pole squeaking beside me. She was sitting up in bed, scrolling through her phone. When she saw me, she smiled, a real, genuine smile. "Ready to do this?" she asked. "Ready," I said. We held hands. I remember thinking how strange it was that in just a few hours a part of me would be inside her. That we'd be connected in a way we'd never been before. "I love you," she said. "I love you too." The next morning, they wheeled me into the operating room. The anesthesiologist told me to count backward from 10. I got to 7 before everything went black. When I woke up, the pain was immediate and excruciating. A deep, burning ache in my left side. Nurses hovered over me, adjusting monitors, checking vitals. Someone said the surgery had gone perfectly. That Rachel was in recovery. That everything looked good. I spent 3 days in the hospital. Daniel came every day, bringing books and magazines and terrible hospital cafeteria coffee. My dad visited, tears in his eyes, squeezing my hand and telling me how proud Mom would have been. Rachel was discharged before me. I didn't get to see her before she left. Something about her recovery room being in a different wing and her doctors wanting to get her home quickly to rest. But she texted me, "Thank you doesn't even cover it. You gave me my life back. I'll never forget this." I smiled through the pain. It was worth it. Recovery was brutal. I couldn't lift anything heavier than 10 pounds for 6 weeks. Couldn't drive for a month. The incision site throbbed constantly and I had to sleep on my back, which I hated. But every time I wanted to complain, I reminded myself why I'd done it. Rachel checked in occasionally. Short texts. "How are you feeling?" "Thanks again, sis. You're amazing." But she never visited. Never called. I figured she was dealing with her own recovery, adjusting to the anti-rejection medications, rebuilding her strength. I didn't push. Daniel was incredible. He took care of everything, cooking, cleaning, helping me shower when I was too weak to stand for long. He never complained, never made me feel like a burden. "You did something beautiful," he said one night as he helped me into bed. "Don't forget that." 2 months post-surgery, I was finally starting to feel normal again. The scar was healing. I could walk without wincing. I went back to work part-time, easing back into my routine. That's when I got the call. It was from St. Mercy Medical Center. A woman's voice, professional but strained. "Ms. Carter? This is Linda Chen from the transplant department. Do you have a moment to talk?" My stomach tightened. "Is Rachel okay?" "That's actually why I'm calling. We have some discrepancies in our records. Can you come in? It's important." "Discrepancies? What kind of discrepancies?" "I'd rather discuss this in person. Can you come tomorrow?" I couldn't sleep that night. My mind spun with possibilities. Had Rachel's body rejected the kidney? Was there a complication? Was she sick again? The next day, I drove to the hospital, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. Daniel offered to come, but I told him I'd be fine. I needed to do this alone. Linda Chen met me in a small conference room. She was in her 40s, wearing glasses and a tired expression. With her was Dr. Patel and another man I didn't recognize, hospital security by the look of his uniform. "Ms. Carter, thank you for coming," Linda said, gesturing for me to sit. "I'm going to be direct because this is a very serious matter." My heart pounded. "What's going on?" Dr. Patel leaned forward. "Emily, we've been conducting a routine audit of our transplant records, and we found something troubling. According to our files, your sister Rachel was scheduled to receive your kidney on March 14th, correct?" "Yes. But according to hospital admission records, Rachel Carter was never admitted to St. Mercy on March 14th. In fact, she was never a patient here at all." I blinked, confused. That doesn't make sense. She was in the room next to mine the night before. We held hands. I saw her. Linda shook her head slowly. "The room next to yours was occupied by a patient named Margaret Reynolds, a 72-year-old woman recovering from hip surgery." The room tilted. "No. That's not. Rachel was there. I talked to her." "Emily," Dr. Patel's voice was gentle but firm. "Did you ever actually see your sister in a hospital gown? Did you see her medical bracelet? Did you speak to her doctors?" I opened my mouth. Closed it. Thought back. Rachel in her regular clothes, sitting on the bed, scrolling her phone. No monitors. No medical staff around her. I assumed. We believe your sister may have staged the entire thing, Linda said. We've been trying to contact her for the past week. Her phone is disconnected. The address she gave us doesn't exist. What are you saying? My voice was barely a whisper. The security guard spoke for the first time. Ms. Carter, we believe your sister fraudulently obtained a kidney donation. We're working with law enforcement to investigate whether she sold the organ on the black market. The room went silent except for the ringing in my ears. Sold it? I repeated, my voice hollow. She sold my kidney? Dr. Patel nodded, her face pained. We found communications between your sister and an overseas medical broker. Kidney you donated was never transplanted into Rachel. It was harvested, preserved, and sold to a private buyer for approximately $200,000. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. The scar on my side burned like it was on fire. She was never sick, I whispered. No. All of her medical documents were forged. The diagnoses, the test results, everything. We're deeply sorry. Our screening process should have caught this, but she was very convincing. And because you were a voluntary donor, we didn't scrutinize her medical claims as thoroughly as we should have. I stood up, stumbled, grabbed the edge of the table. Where is she? We don't know. But the police are looking for her. I left the hospital in a daze. I sat in my car in the parking lot for an hour, staring at nothing. My phone buzzed, Daniel texting, asking if everything was okay. I didn't answer. Instead, I called Rachel's number. It went straight to voicemail. I hung up and tried again. And again. And again. On the 7th try, someone answered. Hello? A man's voice. Unfamiliar. Who is this? I demanded. Who's this? I'm trying to reach Rachel Carter. This is her sister. A pause. Then a laugh. Cold, mocking laugh. Oh, you're the sister. The donor. My blood turned to ice. Who the hell are you? Name's Marcus. And your sister? She's not here anymore. Took the money and ran. Left me high and dry with a bunch of debts. But hey, thanks for the kidney. Really helped us out. He hung up. I screamed. A raw, primal sound that tore from somewhere deep inside me. I slammed my fists against the steering wheel until my hands ached. She used me. She looked me in the eyes, held my hand, told me she loved me, and she used me. For money. That night, Daniel held me while I cried. I told him everything. He was horrified, furious, heartbroken on my behalf. We'll find her, he said. We'll make her pay. But I knew the truth. Rachel was gone. She'd planned this for months, maybe longer. The fake diagnosis, the forged documents, the staged hospital visit. She'd played me like a violin. And I'd given her exactly what she wanted. Over the next few weeks, the investigation unfolded. Police confirmed what the hospital suspected. Rachel had connections to a black market organ trafficking ring operating out of Eastern Europe. She'd been recruited online, promised a massive payout if she could secure a kidney from a willing donor. She chose me because I was a match. 'Cause I loved her. 'Cause I'd do anything for family. They found evidence she'd been planning this for over a year. She'd lost her job, racked up gambling debts, nearly $80,000. She was desperate. And I was her solution. The money from the kidney sale? Gone. She'd paid off her debts, spent the rest in Las Vegas over 3 weeks. Hotels, shows, poker tables. She burned through $200,000 like it was nothing. Then she disappeared. The FBI got involved. International agencies. But Rachel was smart. She'd used fake IDs, burner phones, cash transactions. She knew how to vanish. I gave a statement to the police. Handed over every text, every email, every piece of evidence I had. They were sympathetic but honest. Cases like this are hard to prosecute, the detective said. Even if we find her, proving intent is difficult. She could claim she believed she was sick, that the documents were real, that she was a victim too. But she wasn't a victim, I said, my voice shaking. I was. He nodded. I know. And we'll do everything we can. But I knew it wasn't enough. Daniel suggested therapy. I started seeing a counselor who specialized in trauma. She helped me process the betrayal, the grief, the rage. You didn't do anything wrong, she told me in one session. You acted out of love. What happened is not your fault. But it felt like my fault. I'd been so naive, so trusting. I'd ignored every red flag because I wanted to believe my sister loved me the way I loved her. 3 months after the surgery, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Postmarked from Mexico City. Inside was a single piece of paper. Ing, I know you hate me. I know what I did was unforgivable. But I want you to know I didn't plan for it to go this far. I really was in debt. Really desperate. And when someone offered me a way out, I took it. I told myself you'd understand. That you'd forgive me eventually. That sisters stick together no matter what. But I know now that's not true. I broke something between us that can never be fixed. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I think about you every day. About what you sacrificed. About what I took. I'm sorry. R. I read it once. Then I tore it into pieces and threw it away. Sorry wasn't enough. It would never be enough. But over time something shifted. The anger didn't disappear, but it dulled. I started focusing on my own healing, my own life. I threw myself into work. Spent more time with Daniel. Adopted a second cat. I got a tattoo over my scar, a small lotus flower, a symbol of resilience and rebirth. A reminder that I survived. 6 months after the surgery, Daniel proposed. We were on a beach at sunset, and he got down on one knee and told me I was the strongest person he'd ever met. I said yes. We got married in a small ceremony. Just close friends, Daniel's family. I didn't invite my dad. We'd had a falling out after he tried to defend Rachel, saying she was troubled and made a mistake. I couldn't forgive that. But I built a new family. One based on choice, not blood. As for Rachel, I never heard from her again. Police never found her. For all I know, she's still out there somewhere, living under a fake name, spending money she doesn't deserve. But she doesn't have my kidney anymore. She doesn't have me. And in the end, that's the only justice I need. Because I learned something through all of this, you can't choose your family. But you can choose who you let into your heart. And you can choose to walk away from people who don't deserve you, even if they share your blood. I have one kidney now. One scar. One story I'll carry forever. But I also have my life. My love. My future. And no one, not even my sister, can take that away from me. The last thing I'll say is this. If you're considering organ donation, do it. It's one of the most beautiful things a person can do. But do it with your eyes open. Questions. Verify everything. Protect yourself. 'Cause love should never cost you a piece of yourself. Not like that. Not ever.